Welcome back to the High Vibe Life podcast with me, your host, Moira Casaba. We are going to talk about something today that I get a lot of questions about. And I often just find people getting stuck in this space, right? When I'm coaching a room or a group of people and we start talking affirmations, this is really the first thing that comes up because listen, if you've ever stood in front of a mirror and said, I am confident, I am abundant, money flows to me easily, and then immediately walked away feeling like a complete fraud, this episode is for you. And before anybody comes at me, let me be clear. I love personal development. I love mindset work. I believe our thoughts do shape our lives. But somewhere along the way, affirmations got marketed as if all you had to do was slap a sticky note on your bathroom mirror, repeat the sentence 2 or 3 times, and poof, your entire life would change. And guys, if that were true, we'd all be millionaires with 6-pack abs, right? Here's the truth. It's not the affirmations that don't work. It's that most of us have been using them in a way our brains were never designed to receive them. So let's talk about why. Because like I said, the problem isn't the affirmation. Here's what I see happen all the time. Somebody decides that they want to be more confident. So they start saying, I am confident. But underneath that statement, their nervous system is screaming. They're saying, I'm actually terrified. Or a lot of us start saying things like, money comes to me easily. I am a millionaire. And meanwhile, you're avoiding looking at your bank account because you're super stressed out and can't pay the bills, right? Or the other one that is most common is I love my body. I love my body. But then every single time you catch yourself looking in the mirror, you're subconsciously criticizing everything about yourself. The issue isn't the affirmation. The issue is that your brain is wired to protect against what it already believes, your belief system. And when the gap between what you're saying and what you actually believe feels too big, your brain throws up a giant red flag. It's like, that is not true. Hard pass. And so instead of feeling empowered, you get discouraged. And then you immediately are like, well, this isn't working for me. This is a bunch of, woo-woo stuff that's just nonsense. I've said this so many times, you guys. It's what is really at the cornerstone of every framework I teach. But our brains are always looking for evidence, right? Here's something I wish more people understood. Your brain's asking, who am I? What do I believe? And how does somebody like me behave based on our identity? Our identity is just a belief. Identity drives behavior. Behavior is what creates our results, and results loop around and reinforce our identity. So confidence isn't built just because you say, I am confident. Confidence is built because you did something scary. You walked through it. You survived it, right? Your brain went, oh my God, look at that. Maybe I can do hard things. You become disciplined by keeping promises to yourself. You become resilient by getting back up. You become abundant by creating value, noticing opportunities, trusting yourself to take action, being grateful. So the evidence that we're choosing to see changes identity. Identity changes behavior, and the behavior changes your life. So if I think about this, I think there's really 3 reasons affirmations sometimes leave us feeling worse instead of better. The first, they're too far from what we currently believe. So if you're struggling financially and you're saying, I am a millionaire, your brain is mathing, right? And it's not doing girl math. It's looking around saying, girl, you are not a millionaire. You can't pay this bill. Here's the second reason. We use affirmations so often to really just like bypass our emotions, right? You don't have to pretend you're not scared. You don't have to be positive when you're experiencing grief. You don't have to deny disappointment. Part of being human is feeling all of it. And being high vibe does not necessarily mean we're happy all the time. It means learning how to move through hard emotions without setting up a camp there. And here's the third reason. Affirmations without action get us really frustrated. You can't affirm something and then not back it up with the work. At some point, the woman who wants confidence has to speak up. The woman who wants health needs to get into the gym and make healthy choices in her nutrition. The woman who wants the business has to show up and do the work because action matters. So this is where everything shifted for me. Instead of using affirmations as declarations that felt impossible, I started using them as bridges, and this is the game changer. So think about it. If we go back and we say, I am confident, or I am wildly confident, what if you said, I'm learning to trust myself more and more every single day? More and more, I am feeling confident in myself. Instead of, I'm a millionaire, or money comes easily to me, what if you said, I'm becoming, those words are key, I'm becoming someone who makes wise financial decisions, right? Again, using the words more and more. More and more, I see myself making good decisions around money, right? More and more, I see myself winning financially, not I am a millionaire. Instead of, I love my body, what if you said, I'm learning to appreciate everything my body does for me? More and more, I feel like my body is changing into what I want it to be, right? More and more, I feel confident in my body. I love knowing that my body is getting healthier and healthier every day. Your brain can't work, or I should say, your brain can work with those words, right? More and more, or I'm becoming, I'm learning, right? It can't work with actual facts that aren't true. That's going to create that inner conflict. And that is going to feel like you're just spouting out lies. And that's actually going to hurt your confidence in yourself. So we got to collect the evidence. I want you to spend less time trying to convince yourself of these things, that you're confident, or that you have a lot of money, or that you love your body. I want you to spend more time remembering that you already are on your journey there. If it's confidence, ask yourself, where have I done hard things before? What have I overcome? What have I conquered? Collect the real, actual life evidence. Because if you're listening to this podcast, I know something about you already. You have a 100% success rate at getting through difficult seasons. You have evidence. You don't need more potential. You need to remember more. Collect the evidence, right? I was just talking to my son about this. So baseball, it's a beautiful game of losing, right? You lose 70% of the time and you get yourself in the Hall of Fame if you're in the major leagues. And so he was in a slump for a game or two, literally a game or two. And that's all he could see. That's all he could feel. And he had a confidence problem. And I was like, listen, if you just go back into your history, you have always been a big hitter. You always hit doubles and triples and home runs. You've always been batting third and fourth in the lineup. You have every team you've been on. You've gotten awards. You've made the varsity as a young kid. Like, you've just look at the freaking evidence, focus on that, remember that, and go into the batter's box with that identity, not the identity of the last two at bats, right? So focus on the evidence, guys. Like, put pen to paper and allow yourself to focus on all the wins. All right. Align belief with action. So this goes back to what I already said. One of my favorite questions to ask is this: if I truly believed this about myself, if I truly loved my body, if I truly was confident, if I truly was a 6 and 7 figure earner, what would I do today? Like, who would I show up as? What actions would I take? Not next year when I'm thinking I'm going to be a millionaire, but if I was a millionaire today, what would today look like action-wise, right? Not when you make the money, when you lose the weight, when you have more confidence, but today. Step into that action. Would she send the email? Would she talk to the prospect? Would she go to the gym? Would she have the difficult conversation? Would she ask for help? Then go do those things, because guess what? Those actions become more evidence, and evidence reinforces your identity, and identity transforms your life. Here's number 3. Don't just say it, but feel it. You guys have heard me talk a million times about the vibrational ladder, about energy, about the frequency we emit. Your subconscious doesn't respond to words. It responds to the emotion, to the energy. So when you say these new bridged affirmations, don't just repeat the words, but feel them, experience them. Close your eyes and ask and see how she walks into the room, how that person handles setbacks, how she speaks to herself. How does she treat other people? How does she make decisions? And here is the key. Don't see yourself as some future version of yourself, because she's you. She's already here. And you are simply giving her more opportunities to show up as her best dang self. So in closing, if affirmations haven't been working for you, I hope this feels like permission to stop forcing it. They're not broken. You're not broken. You're not doing it wrong. You don't need a prettier or more well-worded affirmation. You need alignment. Thoughts, emotions, actions, evidence. Because affirmations are not meant to convince you that you're someone you're not. They're meant to remind you of who you're becoming. And maybe the question for you isn't, why isn't this affirmation working? But the better question is, what evidence can I create today that supports the person I know I'm here to become? Because your life doesn't change from repeating words that you don't believe. It changes from one aligned action at a time. And those choices, they add up until one day you realize you don't even have to say the affirmations anymore, because you, my friend, have become her. I hope this lands today for you. I hope this helps bridge those gaps for you where, you're just doing all the work, but it's just not hitting. This was a game changer for me. It completely shifted my energy, completely shifted the outcomes of my actions, like radically fast. Like right now, it can change everything. Change the words, feel the new emotion, get into aligned action, and go create the best damn life you can. Thanks for joining today, guys. Share this episode with a friend. Let me know what you thought of it. Tag me, and I will see you on next week's High Vibe Life podcast.